we got some important business to chat with Mr. Seaver
Talking
here.
flags.
Talking flags. The new flag was actually adopted by the City Commission on December 9th.
Yes, this was a big development. So I've been working with quite a few other folks for, nearly a year now. And in fact, our founder, Tom Farmer, has been working on this even longer. So the Frankfort Flag Initiative, the whole point of it was to update the city flag. The flag that we had up to this point was selected in 1959, and we didn't really throw it completely aside. We really viewed it as more of an updating process. So you'll notice some design elements that were in the 1959 flag that made their way into the flag that was recently approved by the City Commission. And there's a committee of us who've been working with this.
There's the old flag.
Yeah, there's the old
folks.
flag.
Yep.
And, it was fine. It met the needs of the people in 1959. But if you look at trends within flag design in the decades since, this one was very much of its era.
Of the time, right.
And we were looking for something that was a little more eye-catching, that really told people what Frankfort was about, what we value. The whole point of a flag is to easily identify yourself to others at a distance. And our hope was that people would see this flag going forward, they'd really embrace it, and it would be a good way for them to really show that they're part of the Frankfort and Franklin County community. So,
what is the study of flag design?
Vexillology, which is so easy to say.
Yeah. Some of the things that the things that we've sort of learned over the years that older flag broke a lot of those rules, right? Like words.
Yeah, don't put words on a flag.
Pictures of people or places.
Yeah, seal on a bed sheet is a common expression among vexillologists. So there's just a lot going on here. The 1959 flag, as I understand it, they took all the ideas that had been submitted by the community and put them all on there. So there's a lot going on there.
Happy.
Yeah.
And we wanted something that was a little more, straightforward and transparent.
And like you said, you could see from afar, like it's more striking, that you can see on somebody's hat or, in front of somebody's house.
Absolutely. But you'll notice that we really stuck with a lot of the colors that were on the old flag. Yeah. When we had our public design competition this past spring, we received over 100 designs from members of the community. And again, the things that come through are the river and the stars, symbolizing that Frankfort is not only the county seat, but it's also the state capital. So the committee narrowed down the over 100 submissions we got to the 5 finalists that you see on the screen, and then we put it in front of the public. It was very important that we weren't the ones saying this is what the flag's going to be. So the public, back in September, the last time I was on, had the ability to participate in a ranked choice vote. And the one that they selected was, I believe, D of those 5 that you saw there. And at that point, the committee took it. We have several graphic designers that we've been working with, and they kind of punched up that original design just a little bit to make it a little more eye-catching. But
I think they did a great job of really taking it to the next level.
I like it as well, And I want to give credit where credit is due. That original design was submitted by Amanda Cross, so we are super grateful for that, and we're excited to include her in the eventual dedication event. But I think it's eye-catching, and my goal is to see this embraced by the community. I always tell people that we're at the halfway point. We're very grateful to Mayor Wilkerson and the City Commission for all the help and support that they've given us. And it's important that we got their stamp of approval, but now we need the public to really embrace it. So this design lives in the public domain, meaning we're not making any money off of it. People can take it and use it how they wish. If somebody wants to have a t-shirt printed up, they are more than welcome to do that. We're going to do a little bit of merchandising ourselves just to make sure that people who want to have a bumper sticker or a lapel pin or something like that can get that. And those should be available at the Capital City Museum in 2025.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I had that thought. Like I could see Capital City Museum selling some merch of the flag, and I'm excited to get something myself, maybe a shirt or a pin one day.
And we're hoping to sell full-size flags as well. You're going to start seeing them on public buildings around town in 2025. So again, we're really hoping that the community rallies around this, that they embrace it.
Yep.
One of the things that was important from the start was that this was a citizen-led initiative, and it came at no expense to the taxpayers of Frankfort or Franklin County. And I know that the City Commission was very excited about that as well.
Yeah, they were.
Sure.
Whenever you're looking at budgets, you want to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck. And like I said, this was 100% citizen-led, citizen-funded, but without taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, well, I want to give you and Tom Farmer and the rest of the initiative just all the kudos and all the flowers, honestly, because I just think the way you all handled it from day one was just awesome. But with that in mind, we're not going to ask people to spend a bunch of money. It's not a thing that the city, they have so many things that they have to worry about and think about, and it's not a thing that needs to get bogged down into their system.
Sure.
And it doesn't need to be like public meetings and all this stuff. It's like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. And I think you all have been very transparent throughout the whole process too. And people aren't like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah, sure. We've tried to be good about communicating about it, and one of the cornerstones of this initiative was that the public was always going to be able to give us feedback, and they certainly came through in that regard. And even people who don't formally serve on the committee have been very active and very involved. So Marshall Flynn, John Carlton, they have certainly embraced this initiative, and plenty of other folks around town as well.
That's right. That was a little detail. I'm glad you mentioned Marshall, because I didn't realize this. Right, he's they're a local historian and great grandson of, is it Ermina?
So I believe his great grandmother was one of the people who spearheaded the 1959 flag, and it was great for us to have one of her descendants involved in this process. And for us to get his blessing that, yes, we don't have to stay with the 1959 flag forever. Let's see what we can do to update it and take the best of the design elements that it has and create a new flag from those.
I just think that's a nice, like, kind of full circle moment there, and kind of wrapping that in. Oh, and then just another detail that I noticed as well, that many of the submissions, although not one of the winners, but they were from Franklin County High School.
Yes. Right? We had people of all ages participating in this. We had quite a few classes that submitted designs. We had a lot of designs that were submitted by children. And again, because we have graphic designers that were on our committee, they were able to take some of those designs that were, kind of hand-drawn in crayon and put them in a more formal form that we could put out in front of the public.
Yeah, but you weren't using that as like a sort of barrier for entry. It's like, if you can scribble this on a napkin or something, then we'll take it.
And Elizabeth and Sophie, two of our committee members, our local high school students, they have since graduated this past May, and they're off in their freshman year of college, but they're still involved in the work that we're doing.
That's awesome.
So we tried to get as much feedback and input and involvement as possible from the surrounding community.
I think that's really cool, and that's something that they can kind of take with them forever. That they were a part of that process, and that they helped decide. Like, hopefully, maybe after they finish, if they've gone off to college or wherever, and they come back home to visit or to live or something, they can see it flying outside City Hall and say, "Hey, I took part in that."
Exactly.
Back in 2024.
Well, and my hope is that they, all of us who live here in Frankfort and Franklin County, when we travel or if we move away and you're out and about and you see somebody who has, a T-shirt or a pin or something like that with the Frankfort flag, that's going to immediately build a connection. My choice of socks today was intentional because I used to live in Maryland. So if I can hike my leg up here,
there you go.
I have my Maryland socks.
That's right. Those are very distinctive flag.
Very recognizable.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So it's Lord Baltimore's personal flag, I believe. And as an ex-Marylander, I have been out and about and seen somebody else with, like a pin on their backpack or something like that. And there was once I actually was wearing these socks, and I just pulled up my pant leg, and we both went, "Whoa, Maryland!" And this was happening in Indiana. So again, it really builds a connection and helps people to know where you're from and what you're about.
Yeah, no, be
Yeah, I
able to
totally agree.
let your flag fly. You know, not necessarily even in a flag, but just in whatever form.
Yeah.
you know, it's a way to connect for sure.
Well, you mentioned maybe a ceremony, a kind of reception that I think you guys are talking about.
Yes.
So, maybe not a date yet.
Yes, we don't have a date on the calendar yet, but our goal is to do a more formal rollout or some sort of dedication event or ceremony in early 2025. So we'll certainly keep you all in the loop about that, and we hope people will turn out for it.
Yeah, we'll have you back on the show around then, whenever you guys do have a date, just to spread the word and get people out there. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see it flying around town and people wearing it in pins and stuff. It's awesome. Jim, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having
and sharing
me.
the
This
good
was
word.
great.
Always fun, and appreciate all the hard work that you guys did and getting us to the finish line. And
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks for helping
Great
us
result.
to share it. And it sounds like I got some homework when it comes to Steven Spielberg movies while I'm wrapping gifts this weekend.
exactly, there you go.